Hey there, Greenbelt. Pastor Kevin here. Wanted to give an update on the staffing restructuring that we have been working on for the past couple of months as a leadership here at the church. I'm just very excited about this, and I so appreciate everybody's work, everyone's prayers, and just how the leadership of the church has really come together around this restructuring that we've put together. Now, we did a video last December explaining kind of the different roles, how this fits into our mission, our vision, and our strategic plans to be the hands and feet of Jesus in our community, so I won't go over into the exact details. What I want to talk a little bit is the names that are going to be going into these roles. We've been working on this for the last couple of months, and I'm really excited to start sharing some of this information with you. Our church, this past year, 2019, we engaged with over 600 people in our ministry. Over 600 people at some point were engaged in our ministry here, and that's just kind of in the building type ministry. That's not even including our online ministry. That's a completely different number. And that 600 is our members all the way to like just first time guests or people that we've connected with in the community through a number of ministries. And one of the ministries that Greenbelt has partnered with over the last couple of years as part of our strategic plan was building that relationship with the Beacon of Hope Chaplaincy, which is head up by Danielle Presso. And when we look at the work that she has done with her leadership team, it's just absolutely amazing. So out of this over 600 people we've connected with, 110 of that 600 comes just from the Beacon of Hope Chaplaincy. They've connected with people from all over the world through their ESL, their English conversation drop-in, through the Bible study they were doing, through kind of spiritual direction that Danielle has been doing out in the community. Also partnering with city councilors and things like that. So in this outreach role, I mean, we know, for those of us who've been to Greenbelt for a significant amount of time, we know outreach and evangelism has not been one of our strengths collectively as a church. We've had different leaders take our church through different programs like natural church development and things like that, and we constantly see that evangelism outreach component has been low. And as the mission of Jesus, we want to be engaged in reaching 10,000 people with the gospel, so we need to ramp that up, and we couldn't think of any better way than to take that outside ministry of Beacon of Hope, which is pretty much all Greenbelt people there anyways, and make that a position in the church. So Danielle will be stepping out of her director of life groups and moving into being the director of outreach and evangelism. So of course that leaves a big gap in our life group ministry. Now life groups is a huge priority for us. We say unapologetically, if you are not in a life group, you're actually not in our care model as a church. We believe care happens in the context of friendship and meaningful relationships, and we want everyone to be in a group. So I started talking with Jen Outhouse about this. She's done an amazing job in our youth ministry because youth ministry has the exact same format as our life group ministry does. You see, gone are the days of youth ministry where it's these big, ginormous, flashy events. Kids are looking for meaningful relationships. They're looking for a meaningful relationship with their leaders and with each other, where they can ponder kind of their faith and wrestle with tough questions. And so the model that Danielle built in the life group ministry is identical to the model that our fusion ministry is using. And Jen has done such a great job of raising up the leaders there that we just thought it'd be just an absolute perfect fit for her to continue that exact same type of work in our life group ministry. So Jen is going to be taking on some additional responsibilities and overseeing our life group ministry. And then the last bubble over here is our connections ministry. It's been so amazing to have Paul Mugarura kind of back with us for the past couple of months. We hired Paul just to help us out in the interim, just kind of come for a couple of months, help us to basically get to this year, get to the new financial budget, because it's hard to do staffing in December because you don't know exactly how the money's going to play out. And it's just been so great to work with him. He has such a pastor's heart when it comes to worship. He brings a lot of technical skills in the area of social media, and he does bring that pastor heart to worship. And talking with him is he is actually great to stay longer than the temporary contract. So we'll be bringing Paul on to oversee our worship, and our social media. So this is kind of what we're calling our ministry leadership team. So this is the leadership of the ministry of the church. So those are kind of we're going to be heading up our areas of ministry, overseen, guided by our elders and supported by our deacons. We also have our Arabic ministry, which is fully integrated into this model. The Arabic ministry isn't something off on its side. In fact, the work that we're doing now with them is we're ensuring that every aspect of this is also being hit on in the Arabic ministry as well. Freddie is going to be finishing his contract with us at the end of March. We so appreciate all the work that he's done. And what we've done is we've built kind of an interim solution. Eventually, we're going to need a leader here, an Arabic-speaking leader, to help bring leadership to that area. But we didn't want to rush it, and we got a really good interim solution in place with leaders and volunteers taking over core responsibilities until we find the right person in that area. And then, so the last piece of the puzzle was, what are we doing administratively? Right? There's some administration that you need for the church. And one of the big ones was the whole issue of the finances. For the past few years, it's been the church office administrator who's been handling our finances, and that's worked really well. But as we evaluated it, we found that we could actually do a much better job of actually giving that to professionals, right? Giving that to professional bookkeepers. They could do amazing work in a fraction amount of the time, and it really ensures that our books and our finances are completely above reproach. They're compliant to all the newest laws in nonprofits in Canada. And so we're really thrilled that Libby McRobbie has taken on that role to handle our finances for us here as a church family. So we're just absolutely thrilled about that. She's already doing an amazing job. And then so the last piece was just some of these administrative things that we felt were still necessary. Now again, culture has shifted, the way church work shifts, and the traditional church administrator we felt just wasn't needed anymore. We don't need someone to answer the phone. The phones don't ring. They're automated. People text, people email, they don't call. We didn't need someone, to be at the door to greet people when they come. People don't show up unannounced. It just doesn't happen. We don't need someone to make a church bulletin because that's all digital now. So ministry's really shifted in that kind of regard. So in working with the elders and the deacons and key leaders here, it was determined that the best use administratively would be to bring in an executive assistant role. So this is a very new role. It's very different from anything else we've ever had here before on staff. This is a position where the primary purpose is to ensure this stays organized. That ensures that this stays organized. So it's handling all communications to me, handling my calendar, handling my email, making sure I don't have 7 different ways that people are booking appointments with me, that it's all being funneled in one place, that the priority work that we need to get done as leaders is getting done, and then it will have a little bit of oversight working with some of the leaders just to make sure that some of the office administrative stuff is taken care of as well, but it's quite minor. It's more like just supplies and things and the mail and the general email here at the church. So very excited about this, and so this will be kind of more details will be coming up about this in the as we lead up to the AGM on February 23rd. And the last part of this is that we've just started working on now is how do ministries that are headed up by lay leaders fit into this, right? And so our hope is that by September, every single ministry that has a lay leader, a non-staff person heading it up, is those leaders will report to one of the other staff apart from me. That way they can get clear vision and they can be developed and poured into. And just for an example of that, our missions team. We have a great missions team. Well, the missions team would be, working with Danielle to ensure that we're on vision and on track with that. Also with our first impression ministries, like our greeters, our ushers, our cafe team, will also be under this idea of the outreach director, because those are positions that they're outreach focused, but they're here in the building. The reason we have greeters is to make newcomers feel comfortable. The reason we've got a welcome ministry is to have the vision and their sights on new people to help them get connected. Other areas that we'll see is in the area of like the prayer ministry that happens on Sunday morning. We have a great prayer team, prayer ministry. Well, that they'll be working with Paul just to ensure that stuff is done. Same thing with communion team, making sure that's done really well. And so these leader teams, we started having some of those conversations, but we're going to see more and more how they're going to fit in with this. And again, we really believe as elders and as leaders here that this is going to just lead us into really being the hands and feet of Jesus here in this community. I'm really excited. The elders, the deacons are really excited. The staff is really excited. And I hope you're going to get excited with us too as we just watch God do immeasurably more than we could ask or imagine. As always, if you have any questions about this stuff, shoot me an email, kevin@greenbelt.church. I love talking about this stuff. And until kind of the next update, God bless you, and look forward to seeing you soon. God bless.